it's Ian from Donk TCG here, and welcome to a live deck profile for Ultra Necrozma GX. Now, with pre-release being this weekend, Forbidden Light pre-release just the weekend past, I thought it was a really good time to bring you guys a profile for what I think is going to be the best deck in format. I'm going on record as saying that. Come at me if you disagree, but I think Ultra Necrozma is going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, there are a few lists already running around out there for this deck, mostly coming from Japan. It's been doing very well in Japan, it's won a few tournaments over there, but they have a slightly different format to us in that they still have things like Battle Compressor and VS Seeker Legal, which obviously we don't. So the list that I'm going to be bringing you here is a list I've been working on myself. It is by no means perfect, it is by no means final, but this is the starting point that I'm going to work from as I go through my testing, as I go through my changes, and obviously I'll be bringing you news about that as well and updates on this particular deck. But let's jump in and have a wee look. So, we play 3 Ultra Necrozma GX, we play 3 Inky, and 3 Malamar. We play 1 Oranguru, 2 Tapu Lele GX, 1 Donk Necrozma, and 1 Baby Mew. So, Ultra Necrozma GX is the main man in this deck. So he's 190 HP basic, Dragon type, which is a little unfortunate as you're not hitting anything for weakness. He himself is weak to Fairy, which is a little bit concerning given that Sylveon started to see a bit more play. Gardevoir's always powerful, though it's not been as popular recently. However, it's not as bad a weakness as something like Fighting when you've got loads of Buzzwolls everywhere, or something like Darkness when Zoroark's everywhere, so we can live with that. He has 2 attacks. His first attack here, Photon Geyser. Now it costs a Psychic and a Metal Energy to use this attack, so the cost is a little bit clunky, but it's worth it for the payoff. It does 20 damage, but you discard all basic, and it's key here that it's basic, Psychic Energy from this Pokemon. And it adds 80 damage for each Psychic Energy you discard. So if you discard 1, you do 100. If you discard 2, you do 180. You put a Choice Band onto that, you're hitting 210, which means you're one-shotting something like Zoroark, Golisopod, etc. It's a really, really powerful deck, and anything in this format that can take one-shots has to be considered as really, really powerful, and we've got a lot of two-shotters like Golisopod and Zoroark, as I mentioned. His GX attack is also really good. It's called Sky Scorching Light, and again it costs a Psychic and a Metal, and you can use the attack only if there are 6 or fewer prize cards remaining on the field. So if you've taken 3 and your opponent's taken 3, you can use this attack. If you've taken 5 and your opponent's taken 1, you can use this attack. And it reads that you put 6 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's a really, really powerful effect, and you can see why they've made this something you can't use until the later game. Because if you went first and you pulled this off in turn 2, you could wipe out a bunch of your opponent's basics without them ever having a chance to evolve, and it would make the card just a little bit too broken. However, as it is, it's still really useful. It can take big knockouts towards the end of the game. If something's been damaged and they've put it on the bench, you can still get it with this attack. If they're benching basics in the late game, you can still get them with this attack. It's a really, really good GX deck, and it's one that I think we'll use a fair bit. So, Ultra Necrozma's partner is Malamar. So you can see here, Malamar, 90 HP, stage 1, evolves from Inkay, Psychic Sphere, 60 for Psychic, Psychic Colourless. You never want to be attacking with Malamar in this deck. We play him for the ability Psychic Recharge. Once during your turn, you may attach a Psychic Energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So Ultra Necrozma's attack discards Psychic Energy to do more damage. Malamar's ability attaches Psychic Energy from the discard to bench Pokemon. You can see the synergy working between these two cards. You can see the idea of recycling that Psychic Energy back onto the field after you've discarded it for Photon Geyser and reusing that attack over and over again. Now it is a little bit of a disappointment, not disappointment, it's a little bit balanced I suppose would be a better way of phrasing that you can only do this for benched Pokemon. If you could do it to your active, it would be ridiculously broken. But there are ways in this deck we play of getting Ultra Necrozma to the bench and back into the active in the same turn, and we'll talk about them as we go. So, some of those ways that we do that, we have a card here, Donk Necrozma GX. So, we play him for this Invasion ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's on your bench, you may switch it with your active Pokemon. It's stand-in Zoroark, it's rush-in Keldeo, and Keldeo saw a lot of play in decks that didn't even play Water Energy purely for this ability. It's a really, really effective ability. He's already seen play in decks like Ho and Volcanion, and it's just going to get better and better as the format progresses. Now, as an attacker, he's not too bad actually. His first attack, Dark Flash 120, attack damage isn't affected by resistance. The only thing is it costs 3 psychic energy. It's not great, but his GX attack has a lot of promise. It does 180 damage, again for 3 psychic energy, which is usually a bit clunky, but you can attach with Malamar, so there is ways to attach it to him in the same turn and then get him into the active with Invasion, so it could work pretty well. It does 180 damage as I said, so you slap a Choice Band on there, you're one-shotting Gliscod. Unfortunately, you're not one-shotting Zoroark because of resistance, and he is weak to Dark, which is something you've got to be really careful of when you're playing this card. But his GX attack has a second effect, which is really cool. You can only use it if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. So you want your opponent to have taken a prize card before you can use this attack. And as I said, it does 180, but it also gives him immunity the following turn from all effective attacks, including damage. So you can attach to him Invasion to get into the active, use this attack for a big knockout on something, and buy yourself an extra turn where they can't damage him. It could be a really, really useful attack in certain circumstances, and it's something to keep an eye on where you might not always use Ultra Necrozma's GX attack. This could be a big knockout to swing the game back in your favour. We also play Baby Mew, and he has that Memories of Dawn ability. It can use the attacks of any of your basic Pokemon in play. You still need the necessary energy to use the attack. So you can attach a Metal Energy here, you can accelerate with Malamar to the Psychic Energy onto him, put him in the active, and he can use Ultra Necrozma's attack to take big knockouts. We play him mostly for the Psychic weakness, because obviously Buzzwole is really, really popular, and the ability to one-shot Buzzwole is really, really important, especially on a one-prize attacker. However, he also has free retreat, so there's an added bonus. You can play something like a Guzma, put Mew up into the active, use Malamar's ability onto your Ultra Necrozma that you just had in the active, then free retreat Mew, and Ultra Necrozma is ready to go. Or you could attach the Metal Energy to Mew, accelerate to Mew, use the Guzma, and then use him as an attacker. You take a big knockout, hopefully a 2-prize knockout, and leave a 1-prize attacker in the active. He could be really, really useful in this deck. We play Oranguru with that Instruct ability. Once during your turn before you attack, draw up to 3. Now, I'm not sure if Oranguru is going to make the final cut of this. I've got him in here just now to see how he works, but he's one of the ones that I'm a little bit on the bubble about, so we may see him drop. And we play 2 Tapu Lele GX. Now, of the guys in the team, they will tell you I'm a huge supporter of 3 Leles in just about every deck. So I've cut down to 2 in this list. I may decide to go back up to 3 at some point, but there is a reason for why I've cut down to 2, and you'll see that when we start to look at the item cards, which we're going to do just now. So, our item cards. We have 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Mysterious Treasure, which is a brand new card from Forbidden Light. We have Rescue Stretcher, 1 Professor's Letter, 2 Field Blower, 2 Float Stone, and 2 Choice Band. So, as we said, we need the Choice Band to take the big knockouts to get that extra 30 damage, so we're playing 2 of these. We need Ultra Ball for Pokemon Search, Rescue Stretcher to get Pokemon back from the discard pile. Professor's Letter is one that I'm not sure. I don't know if that'll make the final cut of this list, but given that you need to attach Metal Energy, and then you need Psychic Energy as well to use to use Ultra Necrozma Even's attack, it's something that I'm going to try out just now and see how it goes. 2 Field Blower, because if they put a Fighting Fury Belt on the Buzzwole, you have a difficult time one-shotting it. If they put a tool on their Garbotox and Garbodor, it shuts off abilities, obviously, meaning that you don't have access to your Malamar, so it's really important that we can get rid of those tools. Now, Mysterious Fossil is probably the most interesting one of these. And as I said, brand new from Forbidden Light, and it reads, discard a card from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Psychic or Dragon Pokemon, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. It's Ultra Ball, but you discard 1 and it only gets Psychic or Dragon Pokemon. Well, in this deck, we are fine with that, because Inky's Psychic, Dawnwings is Psychic, Mew's Psychic, Malamar's Psychic, Ultra Necrozma's Dragon, Tapu Lele's Psychic. The only card in this deck, the only Pokemon in this deck that we can't get with Mysterious Treasure is Oranguru. And that's a small part of the reason why I'm considering that he might be one to cut, but We'll see how it goes with him in the deck. Obviously we used Ultra Ball to get him, but this is a terrific card. Ultra Ball for 1, or an Ultra Ball effect for 1, is absolutely fantastic. And this is part of the reason why I think you might be able to cut down on Lele. So you end up giving yourself here 8 searching out to a Lele in a turn 1. If you have 2 in the deck, you have 10 outs to a turn 1 Lele overall, which means your chances are 1 in 6. So you're going to see 8 cards on turn 1, your hand and your draw obviously. So in theory, you should always have an access to a Lele on turn 1 if you need it. Now I might find that when I play it out, that's not happening as often as it should, and that might be a time where I look at going up to a third Lele. I'll need to wait and see as I go through my testing phase, but in theory, this should work as it is. And the Mysterious Treasure and Ultra Ball, they are playing those 8 Pokemon search, is another reason that we can only play 1 Bridget in this deck, and you'll see that when we start to have a wee look at the supporter line. So you can see that we play 4 Guzma, we play 4 Cynthia, 2 Sycamore, 1 Lily, 2 N, 1 Bridget as I said, and 2 Acerola. So that Bridget, how often do you see turn 1 Ultra Ball, Lele, Bridget? It's a really popular play. It's most often the first play in just about every deck in the format really. But I think in this deck you can get away with 1, and that's why I'm also playing a copy of Lily. There are some decks out there that play heavy counts of Nest Ball, and instead of going for a turn 1 Bridget, they want to draw as many cards as possible in turn 1, and Lily's a great way to do that. Draw up to 6, but if you use it in the first turn, draw up to 8. So you can draw yourself some extra cards, refresh your hand early on and get going again, whilst not sacrificing your setup. We're playing 4 Ultra Ball, we're playing 4 Mysterious Treasure. That gives us those outs to get in the Inkey on turn 1. The Inkey's on the bench that you need in turn 1. Gives us outs to get in the Ultra Necrozma, the Dawn Wings Necrozma, whatever it is that you're looking for in the early game to start getting yourself set up. You have those outs without necessarily playing a turn 1 Bridget. I might decide that once I've played through the deck that 2 Bridgets is the way to go, 2 Bridgets and 3 Leles potentially, so that you're guaranteed as much as possible that you're hitting it. I might cut the Lily for that, but I think with Mysterious Treasure being so powerful and having Ultra Ball in the deck as well, that there is a chance we can go that kind of route where we've got the Bridget as a bit of a backup, but it's not the only turn 1 play that we have necessarily. 4 Guzma is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously we want to be able to switch, and that's a great card for switching. 4 Cynthia, 2 Sycamore, 2 N, so there's obviously our draw supporters. Cynthia obviously extremely powerful to conserve resources, shuffle in, draw 6. And finally we have Acerola here, and again, out of the team, I'm the one who really loves Acerola, probably more than the other 2, and I think Acerola is just such a good card. In the format that we're in just now, think about Zoroark. It tops out at 150 on Riot is Beaten, 170 if you play the Kukui. That doesn't one-shot Ultra Necrozma. Think about Golisopod. First impression, Choice Band Kukui does 170. That doesn't get it either. Now they might be able to use Cross and Cut GX. With a Choice Band that gets them up to 180, with a Kukui to 200, that would take a knockout, but that's a one-time attack in the game. For the rest of the game, they're not able to one-shot you with that particular Pokemon. And these are Pokemon that see a lot of play at the minute. Something like Espeon, which sees a bit more play as well, that's not one-shotting you, especially when you're discarding your energy. Something like Buzzwole can one-shot you, but Knuckle Impact, Choice Band can't attack the following turn, or if it was going to use its GX attack, that could also work. So that one's a little bit more concerning perhaps, but there are so many Pokemon in the format that don't take these big one-hit knockouts, and the ability to bring that Pokemon back up to your hand, get rid of all the damage counters on it, get the energy back as well, and start attacking with a fresh one is terrific. Particularly in this deck, where if you have Ultra Necrozma in the active, he takes a hit, you Acerola him back up, put up, let's say, Baby Mew, bench Ultra Necrozma, reattach the Metal Energy, Malamar, retreat the Mew, and you're ready to go again. I think it's a really good inclusion in the deck, and I'm really interested to see how it works when we get to playing it, when we get to testing it. So that's our supporter line. And last but not least, we're going to have a look at energy. So in this deck we play 4 metal energy, we play 9 psychic energy, and we play 1 beast energy. Now I know this isn't beast energy, this is super boost energy, but I put it in here purely to remind us that beast energy is a prism star, and that means that you can only have 1 in your deck. Unfortunately over the weekend none of us pulled a beast energy. If we had, I'd have one here to show you, but it's just unfortunate that we didn't. So as we said, Ultra Necrozma's attack requires a metal energy, so we're playing 4 metal energy here to try and cover the cost of that attack. 9 psychic energy because we want to get as many into the discard as possible so we can recycle with Malamar regularly. Beast energy, however, is a rainbow energy that only works on Ultra Beasts, doesn't cause them 10 damage, so it counts as every type of energy when it's attached to the Pokemon. So if you put this onto Ultra Necrozma, it counts as psychic, it counts as metal, it counts as everything else you want it to be. So really we're playing 5 metal energy here, and if you remember back, the key thing of Ultra Necrozma's attack is he only discards basic psychic energy. So whereas if the attack said psychic energy, you would have to discard beast energy, you don't, it stays on. So it's actually in this deck really a 5th metal energy in order to help get those numbers. Oh, and by the way, it adds 30 damage as well. So it's essentially a metal energy and a choice band, but it affects everything, by the way, not just EXs and GXs, that extra 30 damage. It's absolutely terrific. If it was not a prism star, you'd be playing 4 of these. Of course you'd be playing 4 of these. It's an excellent card, and they have to make it a prism star, I guess, to balance it. You probably have noticed we were playing 2 choice band. This is essentially the 3rd choice band that you play in the deck, and it's really powerful. It's a terrific card, and I'm sure it will see play in pretty much all Ultra Beast decks. So that is our full list, and I'm just going to lay out the cards here for you as best as I can so that you can get a view of the list in its entirety. And I'll say thank you very much for watching. Now please do get in touch. Please get in touch with us if you're testing this deck, if you're playing this deck. Let us know how it's going, let us know what changes you've made to it, if you've made any, what you think's working really well, what isn't working really well. You can find us in all the kind of usual places, so you'll find us obviously on our YouTube channel, so please do subscribe. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those kind of places. Plenty of ways to get in touch with us, so please do, we really do want to hear back from you. Just a wee note as well before I finish up here, a massive thank you to everybody who has subscribed so far, who has got in touch, who has commented, who has done all of these things. The support for the channel so far has been absolutely terrific, and it really does mean a lot to us that we're getting to hear from all of you guys and that we're getting feedback and you're enjoying the content, so please keep that up. Don't stop that. We really do enjoy hearing from you. It really does mean a lot that you've been so supportive of us so far, so please, as I say, continue on with that. And again, this is not, as I said, the finished list. I will be bringing you updates on this list as Forbidden Light releases, as I get these cards online, as I start doing more and more testing of this particular deck and other decks from Forbidden Light as well. So you will get to see some updates to it as we go. So please be on the lookout for those. Obviously subscribe to the channel, you won't miss them. There is tons more Forbidden Light content to come as well over the next few weeks and beyond. We've got matches, we've got openings, we've got deck profiles, all kind of things coming up. Everything to do with Forbidden Light that you really would want to know. So please, as I said, get in touch. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.